puts you on his back again, and can finish with either hand at the rim.
Nowitzki, it's the free throw. I mentioned the last two games. On Friday night, Nash and the Suns gave up 36 first quarter points to Denver. Now they came back and won that. The game before, Golden State threw up 45 on them in the first. Team shooting a high percentage. They wound up losing badly to Golden State. And D'Antoni was saying that he feels after that victory against Dallas, it was such an emotional game, they lost their focus a little bit. He felt there's no better way to regain your focus than to play the Mavericks again.
Well, it's a good thing, especially if you, the Golden State Warriors are a high-powered offensive team, and they really went after the Phoenix Suns. Important when you're playing against good offensive teams is not about the individual defense. You have to be ready to help.
Diaw to Bell. Another pass. James Jones. Air ball. Here comes Stackhouse. Terry on the drive. Inside. It draws the foul. Good explosion to the rim. Jones picks up his first, and Terry will shoot two.
Jason Terry going away from the screen and roll, and then he's ready to finish. He understands help is coming. He is ready to meet the defender at the rim. No layups, no teardrops. I am going to tear the house down.
Terry in his third year in Dallas, his first 5 years with Atlanta, never played in a playoff game. I don't know if you've seen a guy as happy to be in the finals as Jason Terry was last year. Had some huge games in the finals as well. See the month of March, how well he's been playing. And he hits the first. And when he came to Dallas, he was the point guard to replace Steve Nash. And he said at first he tried to be like Nash. Quickly realized that Avery Johnson told him, don't play that way.
That's where you want a coach to recognize. So many coaches these days, and people watching the game say, hey, what a kid can't do. No, Avery Johnson pulled him aside and said, hey, you are the Jet. You are a strong point guard. Do you?
That shot won't go. Stackhouse the other way. I don't think Avery Johnson uses nicknames. I think he prefers to use these. Stackhouse knocks down the shot. Just doesn't strike me as that kind of guy.
No, he doesn't, but every now and then you want to try to motivate a guy, so dazzle him with his nickname.
Barbosa will set it up. Final minute here of the first quarter. That's a two-pointer. Barbosa with 5 points.
Good recognition from Barbosa. Comes off the screen, realize he has airspace. Defensively, you have to be ready to jump him coming off that screen.
Stackhouse spinning and knocking it down. Stackhouse had 33 in that game against Phoenix back on March 14th. That's the most he's had as a member of the Mavericks. Barbosa shot off the mark. There was about a 2.5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Terry looking over to see what the call is. Johnson's out on the court waving up Austin Crozier. Terry spinning. The ball deflected nicely. Crozier gets it back, just gets it off in time, won't go. And there's the buzzer. Round one is over.
And a good one at that.
The two NBA heavyweights here in their final matchup of the regular season. This presentation of NBA Sunday presented by Hertz will continue after this message and a word from our ABC station. As we're set to start the second quarter, Dallas up by 3. Steve Nash guarding his buddy.
Yeah, guarding his buddy in one-on-one basketball all by himself. The help comes from Barbosa. Steve Nash says, are you kidding me? We played 1,000 one-on-one games. I know what he's going to do. Don't help me. Pays the price. The next trip down, Steve Nash, one-on-one defense, no help, comes up with the steal against Nash, against Nowitzki.
And you see both looking to score early. Nash picking his spots. You know, Nash has said he really feels this team can win a championship, and he realizes as he's getting older, and he's 33 years old, this year he's been more vocal about getting on his teammates. He's always been a positive leader, but he also knows that sometimes he has to get on him. That time letting Barbosa know as Harris's shot won't go. Crozier takes it away from Diaw. Ball knocked loose, picked up by Barbosa. Marion. Bell, wide open three. It's good.
Excellent use of dribble penetration, drive and kick, getting to the seams. That time, Marion making and creating a shot for Raja Bell.
6 points for Raja Bell. You see both teams shooting well from downtown. Greg Buckner in the game. Buckner Very important addition, according to Avery Johnson. A very good defender in his second stint with Dallas. Howard's shot misses. Crozier tips it out, taken by Marion. Here goes Shawn Marion to the basket. Foul. A hard foul. Marion quickly turns and looks at Nowitzki and then wisely stops. Hard foul, but certainly a clean one.
Oh, this is playoff basketball. You're talking about the atmosphere right now. You have to get after it. The way to win is not giving up easy basket opportunities. Has a breakaway, foul him, and force him to go to the line and shoot 2 foul shots.
Marion coming off his best game since December the other night, had 33 as we send it to Michelle.
Yeah, and Mike, I talked to Marion in the locker room before the game, and he said, you know, they finally got me involved. I really haven't been that involved lately. He kind of looked a little miffed about not being included in the offense. But in that game against Denver on Friday, he said he got more involved and was able to do what he normally does. He said, I haven't been off. They just haven't been getting me the ball. So he hopes to see it more today, Mike.
Well, Marion, he does that a couple of times this season, complains about not getting the ball because most of his points come off just all-out hustle. Is excellent defense on Nowitzki.
Well, I'm amazed at it. You're 54 and 18. The coach is doing something right.
Marion to the basket. Oh, beautiful move. First the defense on Nowitzki, and then a gorgeous drive to the basket.
And Shawn Marion is probably thinking once again, getting me the basketball. That's when we are at our best.
Devin Harris to the basket. Parting of the Red Sea there. Phoenix, of course, they're a better defensive team than they're sometimes given credit for, but there's no secret about their goal. They're going to just outscore you. And a foul call on Austin Crozier.
Look at Shawn Marion. Dirk Nowitzki guarding him all by himself, lulls him to sleep, and then it's a blow by and attacking the rim area. Shawn Marion probably thinking, I can do more of this. And Stoudemire on the bench, excited about it. You were right. You were right.
I'll give you the ball more. Marion made his 4th All-Star team this past February. One of the most versatile players in the league. Just fills the stat sheet. And a candidate, as he's called for Travel Boris Diaw, certainly for all NBA defense. Some feel perhaps Defensive Player of the Year, talking about Shawn Marion.
And really my only problem with that is I think he's the 2nd best defensive guy on his own team. Roger Bell is an excellent defensive player and guards a lot of the primary guys as far as perimeter players for the opposing team. But Shawn Marion is certainly no slouch.
Marion can guard so many different players. Howard spots up for 3. That's good. Howard has turned into an excellent 3-point shooter this year. And the Mavs are 4 for 4 from downtown.
When you get high percentage looks off dribble penetration, it's a better knockdown shot. Howard certainly feels confident.
James Jones, no hesitation, in and out. They need Jones to find his rhythm off the bench. He's had an erratic season shooting the ball.
Well, really, in fairness to Jones, when you're a shooter, you want minutes. It's important to try to establish a rhythm on the floor.
Diaw makes his move inside. Nice, pretty move from Boris Diaw.
Not really fair. You're talking about a guy that has the ability to play point guard in this league, and you're asking Zana Diop to guard him on the perimeter. Boris Diaw able to put the ball on the floor and really attack the paint area.
Diaw's first 2 points, and a blocking foul called on Barbosa, who's wide-eyed. And we'll have a timeout as Barbosa picks up his 2nd foul. Just over 3 minutes gone by here in the 2nd. Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. They've been the best in the NBA all season, putting on a pretty good show here in Phoenix today.
Hi, I'm Emily Durant.
They have sold out every game this season. The Suns such an entertaining team, and there's the leading scorers so far. Nash looking to score early, and Josh Howard always looks to score early.
No surprise with Josh Howard leading the Mavericks and scoring early because he's the one that sets the tone for the Mavericks to start games.
Howard said that if he was a boxer, he'd be a boxer that looked to throw that haymaker in the first round. Wanted to knock his guy out early. No body punches to set him up for Howard. And here's Harris. Harris, such a talented young player. In his 3rd year out of Wisconsin.
And if I'm Devin Harris, I look at the impact that Leandro Barbosa has had for the Phoenix Suns because he can have that same type of impact for the Dallas Mavericks. excellent speed, excellent job of changing speeds. When he knocks down that jump shot more consistently, he will be unguardable.
Nash short that time, and Diaw the rebound. Nash. Nice pass. Diaw. Stoudemire throws it down. Boris Diaw, for a big man, you mentioned it earlier, such a talented passer.
And what happens is that type of mentality, that approach, unselfishness, is contagious. So you make a play for me, I'm going to make a play for someone else.
Harris can't finish. Jones the rebound. Ball poked away by Howard and stolen. Josh Howard, one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. Nowitzki looking to post up Jones. Howard for three. Puts it in. Howard, what a terrific start. 14 points, 3 boards, and a steal.
Once again, is the play made by Dirk Nowitzki. He gets the attention of the Phoenix Suns defense and then finds a guy by himself.
Nash shooting early. And the beauty of Nash is knowing when to decide in terms of looking for his offense, when to find his teammates.
And that can't be taught. That's something that you get at birth. Steve Nash has the ability to just pick and choose his spots and does it as well, in my opinion, better than anybody else.
Howard falling down. Sean Marion discussed that he thought it was a flop, but there certainly was contact there. And Howard will go to the line.
And this is just making a play. Read the defense. You don't have to make the home run play. Sure, he sees Marion, Stoudemire open by himself, but that's a better play for Diaw to make. Gets him the ball, and he gets the assist.
Josh Howard to the line. Howard, of course, had a terrific career in college at Wake Forest. And as a reminder about the NBA calendar coming up, here you see the 15 points early. NBA TV on Tuesday. It's the Pistons and the Pacers in Indiana. Coverage against 7 Eastern. Doubleheader on TNT Thursday. 2 good games. The Heat and the Cavs in Cleveland. Then these Suns in San Antonio. That's a huge game for the second best record race. And then ABC next Sunday. A couple of terrific games. The Cavs and the Pistons, followed by these Suns against the Lakers in a rematch of last year's thrilling opening round playoff series. Diaw. Boris Diaw puts it in.
You're going to switch and put Zana Diop on Boris Diaw. Get everybody out of his way of your Phoenix Suns and let him make a play. If help does not come, he's able to get to the rim. If it does come, he's an excellent passer.
Matchups in this series, again, with both teams' ability to go small as Devin George misfires, are so critical, Mark. And Nowitzki looking. Just seeing the way Diaw sometimes has matchups, and he can take a guy to the basket easily. He's guarding Nowitzki here. Nowitzki misses. Diaw tips it. And Stoudemire comes after it. Diaw slow to get up, but he's okay.
The Suns defenders, the big guys, are doing a good job of making Nowitzki work and contesting his shots.
Good ball movement. Marion. And Diaw another rebound. Barbosa won't go, but a foul. Devin George raises his hand. And they're going to take it out of bounds. It wasn't on the shot. It was on the screen set by Nash.
Well, Steve Nash went to set the screen to get Barbosa wide open, get him a look. Devin George ran through the screen, shoving Steve Nash down, so the correct call was made.
So the inbound, not in the penalty yet. 3 team fouls on the Mavericks. Nash on the drive. Stoudemire, nice feed to Marion. So good at finishing around the basket.
So good at getting rid of the basketball, too. Dribble penetration, finding guys slashing to the hoop. Marion finishing off of slashing to the basket. Just excellent execution by the Phoenix Suns on offense.
Terry, foul one on the punt. You can dribble the ball high above your head. You just can't turn it over. Stackhouse knocks down the shot. And we'll have a timeout. Nope. Looked like Phoenix is going to call time. Instead, Nash will bring it up. Nash with 12 points here in the first half. Diaw for three, and they're going to count the basket. They were going to call defensive 3 seconds, and they're going to wave off the defensive 3 seconds. No, that's a good call from Bob Delaney. You don't want to penalize the team that hit the three-pointer because the other team did something wrong defensively.
And it's really the pressure that Steve Nash puts on your defense when he has the ball in his hands. The defense collapsed, and he's just making plays. You want to stay and play in the zone area? Well, I'm going to find the shooters, and you must pay the price.
Dallas 6 for 6 from downtown. The Suns 5 of 11. Phoenix overall shooting is up to 58%. Stackhouse over Nash. Boy, that's a tough shot.
Just good old-fashioned basketball. If you're going to put a small defender, no matter if he's working or not, Jerry Stackhouse is a legit scorer, shoots over the smaller Steve Nash.
Of course, was a big scorer with Detroit, now playing his role in Dallas and playing it well. Stoudemire. Diaw, very active. Barbosa has to put it up. Howard may have gotten a piece of it. 1-point Phoenix lead. Stackhouse, no hesitation, nails the three. Stackhouse, 12 points in 11 minutes off the bench.
And the recognition of Jason Terry finding the open guy off of pushing the basketball in transition. Jerry Stackhouse able to run into a rhythm jump shot.
The Dallas Mavericks 7 of 7 from three-point range. Meanwhile, Phoenix doing pretty well on the offensive end. Some pretty passes, and Steve Nash not the only one distributing. Phoenix, where the Mavericks lead the Suns 48-46. What a great year it has been for Dallas. 61-11, best in the league. They've won 9 in a row. Franchise record 61 wins. If they win today, they'll be the first team in NBA history to have won 4 win streaks of 10 or more. You see the best record through 72 games. They're in just some pretty terrific company. They've had a 17-game winning streak. Yeah, that was a franchise record. They've just put together back-to-back 60-win seasons as Mark Cuban has really done a great job at turning this around. You remember back in the 90s, they went 3 straight years. Well, 3 years combined, they wouldn't win 60 games. And now they win 60 back-to-back seasons, and that man a big part of it as well, obviously.
And that's really why Avery Johnson is my selection for Coach of the Year, because it's awfully tough to try to motivate guys, especially coming off a championship season last year where they were in the finals. This is a team that started 0-4 and won it more. And Avery Johnson is responsibility. That's his responsibility. He's done a great job of doing it.
Devin George the foul, 14th foul. And Nowitzki, he often talks about the real pain he felt from losing the finals last year. So motivated to get back and win a championship. Nash tried an alley-oop and went the other way. Nash also claiming he got hit. And Nowitzki worked hard during the summer, continues to work. He shoots more than anybody in the league in terms of, or I should say as much as anybody, before practice, after practice, off days.
You really want to have star players that are like that. At a time when they went to the finals, when they could say, hey, it was a great year, we've accomplished a lot. Jason Terry knocks down the jump shot. This is a team that was upset, legitimately upset with falling short of their ultimate goal, and they are going after it once again.
Nash to Stoudemire. He's double teamed, knocked out of bounds. Obviously, one of the signs of great teams are the ability to win on the road. They're 22-3 in their last 25 road games. That's just an incredible number.
And it's tough to dominate on the road in this league. That tells you that this is a superior basketball team. There's no accident why they have the record that they have.
And a foul is called. So they're in the penalty. That's a 15th foul. So Jock picks up his second personal. Avery Johnson now in his 3rd year, 2nd full season. And you talk to all the Mavericks about Avery Johnson. Nash will go to the line for 2. And you talk about how he's so focused and so intense every single day.
You know, one thing Avery Johnson does so well is sells it to the guys that he really cares about, and which he does. That makes you, as a basketball player, want to go out and do everything possible to win a basketball game. You'll run through a wall, and these Dallas Mavericks will do just that for their head coach.
There was talk about Dallas perhaps getting 70 wins, and Johnson said, hey, Best thing about 70 wins, if you got it, you're a grandfather, you can tell your grandkids, yeah, I was on a team that won 70. He goes, but I'd rather tell my grandkids I was on a team that won a championship. And that's his whole focus, not the 70 wins, not the franchise record, but to win the title. As Terry misfires.
And the advantage that they have is a referee says ball goes to the Phoenix Suns. The advantage they have a head coach that's been there and done that. He's been on special teams. He's played with great players. He's played for a great coach. He understands what it takes to get to that next level.
Under the 3-minute mark here in the second. Stoudemire, shot clock at 8. Nash the extra pass. Barbosa hits a 3. 6 3-pointer for Phoenix, and they're back up by 1.
And the help has to come because Josh Howard on the block guarding Stoudemire. So the rotation, big man gets rid of the basketball, the extra pass, you wind up with a high percentage shot on the weak side.
Timeout Dallas. Standing ovation for the Phoenix Suns. 2:40 left first half. 1-point game. There was a wild and bizarre moments in the NBA this past week. Monday in Detroit, Rasheed Wallace at the buzzer, team down 3, banks it in. Pistons go on and beat the Nuggets in overtime. End of the third quarter, Caron Butler, 3/4 court, knocks it down for the Washington Wizards. You want more? How about Ben Wallace? Top of the backboard is inbounds. Ben Wallace with the jump shot. And then the most wild one. Washington has it sewed up. Michael Ruffin figures he's thrown it up in the air. Not high enough. And Mo Peterson ties the game at the buzzer. Toronto wins in overtime. Just some wild plays this week in the NBA.
I would have hated to be Ruffin going into the locker room after that play.
Well, you saw that replay. He put his hands over his head. Michael Ruffin, a very smart guy. And a terrific role player, but he's not going to forget that one for a while.
The unfortunate thing is tried to make the right play, but just didn't get it done.
Devin George looking to post up Nash. George has been bothered by some knee problems, but he will also, like we mentioned, Buckner, going to have a very big role come postseason for these Mavericks.
And they need Devin George to be healthy because both guys present a presence on the defensive end. And George especially is a proven commodity.
Stoudemire kicks it out. Barbosa, not that time. And Dirk Nowitzki with the rebound. Under 2 to go. Stackhouse. Howard on the drive. Deflected by Stoudemire. 3-on-1 for the Suns. Bell, nice pass, perfect timing.
Good read by Roger Bell. The idea was probably to throw the long pass, but he forced Jason Terry into committing. What you want to do, pitch a perfect fast break.
Only the 3rd turnover for Dallas in their first in about 13 minutes. Howard the floater. It's his own rebound. Nowitzki calling for him. And Dirk Nowitzki now with 9 points. Nice move, Barbosa. 6-man starter, doesn't matter. He is so explosive.
And how about the pass from Steve Nash? Only one place he could have put it. Delivers the basketball to Barbosa, finishing underneath.
Howard to the basket and draws the foul as Stoudemire will pick up his second. Howard will go to the line, and we go to Michelle.
Well, during the last timeout, Mike, Avery Johnson told his team, we made every defensive error this half. Everything we talked about that we didn't want to do, we've done. Let's try to cut down on those defensive errors the rest of this half and get momentum going into halftime. You're not bad offensively. Let's just tighten up on defense. I don't know that he's liked everything he's seen so far, Mark.
Well, you're probably right. When you take a look at the Phoenix Suns and what they've been able to do, dribble penetration, get wide open shots off of that, that is something that's a staple of an Avery Johnson team. Don't give up high percentage shots, execute and do multiple things. They have not been consistent in doing just that against the Suns in this first half.
Well, Phoenix shooting 58% from the field and already 55 points. Some feel this is the best defensive team that the Mavs have had in a long time. Want to remind you, the dance team bracket is back. Go to NBA.com to vote for your favorite NBA dance team. as all 30 face off for a chance to claim the title of the league's most popular dance team. You have a vote on that?
No, I don't. I don't think I want one. And I tell you what, getting back to the Avery Johnson point, he's being a head coach.
Stoudemire fouled from behind, and he throws it down, and a chance for a three-point play. Jason Terry picks up his first.
My goodness, once again, Steve Nash, the only place it can be put. And then Stoudemire says to Terry, you want to go for a ride?
Stoudemire, 5 for 5 from the field, 3 for 3 from the line. He's so improved free throw shooting this year. He really worked on it while he was out with a knee injury. And the Suns up 4.
And Mike, the point I was making, Avery Johnson talking about his team's defense. When you play against the Phoenix Suns, you know you're going to give up things. You know you're going to have breakdowns defensively, but you can't accept it as a coach.
Smart play for Nowitzki. You got Barbosa up in the air. That's 3 on Barbosa. And Dirk Nowitzki will go to the line.
And sometimes when you're a great shooter like Nowitzki, the play down the stretch against Phoenix to win the last game, he had Shawn Marion in the air. Take the contact. Don't believe in your shot so much. It's much better to go to the line. That time, gets Barbosa in the air, takes the contact, and now he's going to the line.
Nowitzki got off to a quick start. You've seen some double teams since then, but overall, he's averaging a career high field goal percentage, free throw percentage, 3-point field goal percentage, and also assist, which is what you alluded to earlier.
That's really the difference in 2 areas. Defensively, he is competing, not surrendering at all, and then making plays for other guys, which is crucial.
They were chanting MVP when Nash went to the free throw line before. They're not chanting MVP now when he's at the line.
We have a biased crowd.
Stoudemire. Diaw makes his move. Gets inside and draws the foul. Boris Diaw filling the stat sheet here in the first half. We'll go back to the line for 2.
Diaw has been so effective at putting the ball on the floor. At some point, you got to figure out, send him to his weak hands. Time and time again already this half, he's put it in his right hand and attacked the basket area.
Diaw, last year's Most Improved Player Award winner. And I think if Stoudemire's return has affected anyone more than others, it's definitely Diaw. But he hasn't complained about it. His numbers down, his minutes a little down. But still such an effective player now in his 2nd year in Phoenix.
Well, if he wants to complain, just show him the stat line. Show him what Amar'e Stoudemire is able to do on a nightly basis.
Lane violation, so he'll shoot it again. You have to wait if you're along the lane until the free throw shooter releases the ball. And also this year they had a rule change that the players occupying the lane spaces, you can't put your arms into the space in front of the opponent in front of you. And we've seen that called quite a bit this year.
You see what Avery Johnson has done, substituting, putting small guys on the floor. So he's looking to get the last shot and spread the floor.
You saw Diaz's numbers change from last year. He's also had a bad back. He missed about 9 games. But healthy now, as are the Phoenix Suns. Shot clock turned off. They're getting on their feet. Stackhouse. Deflected by Jones. So 2.8 remaining. And they'll use their 20-second timeout. If you don't use your 22nd in the first half, you lose it. So Avery Johnson will set up the play. 60-56. The Phoenix Suns once again showing just how terrific they are as an offensive team, shooting 59% from the field. And it's been all season long. They can become the first team in NBA history to shoot 50% from the field, 40% from three-point range, and 80% from the free throw line. It's never been done. They're very close.
Well, they're very close because you look at the talent level, just a team that executes on both ends of the floor. The thing I love about it, they make plays for one another on both ends. There's plenty of time for the Dallas Mavericks to get a good look offensively, especially coming out of a timeout.
And there you see, the only one they're shy of now is the field goal percentage. They're doing a good job to change that here today. Ball in the backcourt. Stackhouse gets it. And a backcourt violation. So now Mike D'Antoni will call his 22nd timeout. The Mavericks were arguing about throwing the ball in the backcourt. That's allowed in the fourth quarter at the end. And the turnover, only the fourth. We'll take a quick break. Phoenix will have a chance for one more play as we wind down the first half. You can throw it in the backcourt, but it's only the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Well, Phoenix with one more chance. Nash at the buzzer. Back of the rim. And that will end an entertaining first half. The Phoenix Suns shoot 58% and throw up 60 on the board. Steve Nash scoring early, and he's with Michelle.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Avery Johnson told us before the game that the way to beat you guys was to make Steve Nash work hard on both ends of the floor. What's it been like for you out there?
It's so great. No, I mean, that's what we want to do to them, too. And, that's a pretty solid game plan, and that's why I work hard to stay in shape.
From the viewer's standpoint, it looks incredibly intense out there. How would you describe what's going on the floor overall?
So far, it's been a good game, a competitive game, but I think it's going to heat up. I still think there's some levels to go yet.
Neither team has been able to kind of establish a significant lead. So what does this game come down to? And don't tell me who scores most. Where's the edge going to come?
Well, I just think at the end of the game, whoever plays with the most energy and the hardest and is the most disciplined is going to win the game. And, that's usually what it comes down to between these two teams. Steve,
thanks a lot. He's always got his breath, Mike, because he is in such good shape.
Yeah, Michelle, I think it's going to heat up. Right? It's pretty hot already. The T-Mobile halftime report is coming up. Josh Howard's fave 5 NBA players, plus highlights from the Heat and the Pistons. Good game in the first one of our doubleheader. And first half analysis from here in Phoenix. Halftime between the two best in the NBA.
Other guys want to do the exact same things, and it makes them a complete basketball team on the offensive end. The extra pass, what a beautiful thing. It's so encouraging as a spot-up shooter, knowing that the ball will work its way around to you. When you make the proper plays, you're not looking for the home run play. Make the play. Of course, Barbosa opened all by himself. Instead of Stoudemire making a play, he trusted Steve Nash will do exactly that. Good ball movement and then finishing.
Nash right away looked for a shot early and says sometimes he just feels it.
Well, as a guy that's reading the defense, he's saying, hey, you tell me whether you want me to be a scorer or an assist man, and he does both exceptionally well.
Meanwhile, as we said, the Phoenix Suns are the best three-point shooting team in the league. Well, Dallas is number 2, but they've been number 1 this afternoon, just on fire from outside.
Well, getting good looks and shooting from the perimeter this afternoon has kept them in the ball game, shooting 7 of 8 from three-point land. Wide open shots. If you're the Phoenix Suns, you have to get a hand in the face. These are high percentage shots off of ball movement and man movement. Stare-down shots off the double team of Dirk Nowitzki. Extra pass, just like the Phoenix Suns, and it has given the Mavericks a chance in this ball game.
And you see Howard, who's really improved his three-point shooting. Terry has been hot lately, but Howard shooting lights out with 18 points to lead the Dallas Mavericks. That's the T-Mobile halftime report. Third quarter from Phoenix coming up after this timeout. Impressive shooting stats, Mark Jackson.
Well, very impressive. Avery Johnson and the Dallas Mavericks, the thing that stands out here, you can't come into Phoenix and allow them to shoot 58% from the field. That has to be a concern. Red hot on the perimeter, and you must look to be aggressive offensively, but 24 points in the paint for the Phoenix Suns is entirely too much.
So, Michelle Tafoya, was that a concern for Avery Johnson?
Yeah, well, he was very calm and collected when he came out of the locker room, but Mike, as expected, he talked about defense first. He said, we've had some defensive breakdowns, some breakdowns in our coverages. We need to correct those. But offensively, he wants them to make Phoenix's small guys pay a little bit more. Take advantage of some of those matchups where they should be able to score against a smaller lineup, Mike.
He said earlier, Michelle, this week, they beat the Milwaukee Bucks at home, shot 38% and still won, and he said it was one of his favorite wins of the year because I've always envisioned this team to have a bad shooting night and still win. Because of the defense, but the defense not there.
It puts you in a position to win basketball games in spite of you not trusting your offense. The thing that you can be consistent night in and night out is on the defensive end, and Avery Johnson is well aware of that.
Again, Dallas playing without Eric Dampier. Dampier, a defensive presence for them. He's got that shoulder injury. So got a job getting a rare start, and an offensive foul as Nowitzki goes barreling into his buddy. 3 on Nowitzki.
And that goes right in hand with what Michelle was talking about. Dirk Nowitzki has Roger Bell one-on-one. There's no sense in trying to get any closer. Get him to a sweet spot and shoot over him. You allow the help defender to come into the picture, and mama, there goes that man, Steve Nash, with the charge.
And Nash falling to the ground. He's picked up a lot of charges. Mike D'Antoni knows that he's not an all-NBA defender, but says he's always in the right spot.
You would have a problem with a guy that doesn't defend and doesn't compete. Steve Nash battles, he competes, and he gets it done on the defensive end.
Stoudemire off the dribble knocks it down. If he starts hitting that on a regular basis, forget it.
You can warm up the bus. If Stoudemire is knocking down that shot, your concern is about him dominating the paint area. But he stretches the defense even more so when he's knocking down that J.
Just over a minute gone by as we open up here the third quarter. Harris blocked by Marion, and he tips it to himself, but then lost it. He had a 24-second violation. Phoenix never was able to gain possession, so the shot clock continued. Great defensive play.
And both times down the floor, the Phoenix Suns doing multiple things. Shawn Marion understands the mismatch of having Devin Harris, but he contests the shot, comes up with the loose possession, and forces the the Mavericks into a 24-second violation.
Here's Nash. Diaw has the height advantage on Harris. All poked away by Jock, but a foul. So Sagana Diop will pick up his third. Stackhouse quickly comes in. Harris taken out after only 90 seconds. I think Avery Johnson not happy with his defense.
So not only defensively, but you need to score against this Phoenix Suns defense also. So he puts in Jerry Stackhouse, bigger offensive guy, and puts him in for defensive purposes also.
So Terry is now on Nash. By the way, Diaw starting the second half. Barbosa coming off the bench. Shawn Marion, that push shot and goes. Terry right back. Stackhouse, nobody near him, but he comes short. Here comes Marion. The Mavs get back. Nash, Stoudemire again. This time too strong. Diaw kicks it out beautifully. And a reset.
A really good job of resetting, having Josh Howard defend Amar'e Stoudemire, get the ball outside and get good offense.
Here comes Terry. Nowitzki did a nice job defending that time. Nowitzki way off the mark. Crowd delighting in any time Nowitzki misses.
You're playing against a team that's not known as a great defensive team. They can pick you apart offensively. The delivery once again in a high percentage shot, but you have to force the issue if you're the Dallas Mavericks offensively.
Avery Johnson calls timeout as Amar'e Stoudemire now with 17 points.
Hey, Mike, you can make this. Nash making the play, Amar'e all by himself. A beautiful thing to play with a point guard like Steve Nash.
Game track.
Dallas Mavericks starting off on fire, 7 of 7, but three-point land, but since then have gone ice cold. Then Amar'e Stoudemire, high percentage plays, attacking the basket, also knocking down the jump shot, 17 points, and it all starts with Steve Nash, the two-time MVP guy, making the plays on the offensive end, 14 points, 5 assists, but his unselfish play been contagious.
You know, I've mentioned several times, obviously, that these are the two best teams in the NBA, but as we said at the top, San Antonio is only 2 games back of the Phoenix Suns, and they play each other in San Antonio on Thursday. That game on TNT. The Spurs, where do you think they stand in terms of winning a championship this year?
If I'm the Spurs watching any game at home, I'm insulted by someone saying that we're watching the two best teams and I'm not included as Stackhouse knocks down the jump shot, because the Spurs have to feel that they are more than capable of defeating either one of these teams. That doesn't mean that they will, but they are certainly in line and comparable to both of these teams on the floor right now.
So you're saying that I've insulted the Spurs organization?
If I'm Popovich, if I'm Duncan and Parker and Ginobili and those guys, I am upset with Mike Green.
And you look at the record, 52 and 20. They have been superb. They're always a second half team. Always play their best basketball down the stretch. Diaw misses that one. Nowitzki the rebound.
Well, Mike, the good thing about the San Antonio Spurs, they're under the radar. Everybody talking about the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. So I think it's an ideal situation for them.
And, of course, remember last year in the conference semifinals as Howard misses up for the foul. That won't go. Trial again. Puts it underneath. Beautiful second effort in play from Howard. But last year, that playoff series between the Spurs and the Mavs basically came down to one play in that 7-game thrilling series.
And that tells you how close both teams are. They get it done on the defensive end, have 2 home run hitters, inside-outside attack. They are complete teams, and both teams very dangerous.
Stoudemire, so dangerous. Count it, and a foul. Amar'e Stoudemire, 8 of 9 from the field.
Stoudemire doing a great job of reading the play opposite of him. Whether it be a spot-up jump shot or slashing to the hoop, he is putting pressure on the Mavericks defense. Getting to a sweet spot, able to shoot over a smaller defender and take the contact.
Stoudemire has had 3 40-point games. He's had 2 20-rebound games. Just getting stronger and stronger. And he says, as he's come back from the knee surgery, that he feels he's still not 100%. He's getting close, but still has a few levels to climb.
I don't know. How could you be that good and not be 100%? It's really great to see him back, though. And you see the difference, the adjustment coming out of the timeout. The Mavericks now post-up play for Stackhouse, high percentage lay-in from Howard, and then Jason Terry, a nice shot. So the offense now is picking up, and they're looking to get paint touches.
5-point lead for Phoenix. And an offensive foul, Steve Nash. First, Nash. Mike D'Antoni and Bob Delaney having a nice Sunday afternoon chat.
And Mike D'Antoni trying to get his point guard some airspace. Say, hey, you're grabbing him, you're physical, which is the game plan, but he has a coach who's trying to establish something and say, get him off my guy.
He's still yelling over there. Alley-oop to Howard. And kicks it back out. Terry saves it nicely. Shot clock down to 6. Stackhouse. Boy, Stackhouse having a strong game. 17 points in 18 minutes.
Oh, he's a scorer, staring down the offense. And my goodness.
Did the shot clock even reset? Marion on a gorgeous pass. The 6th assist from Nash.
We got to talk to Steve Nash. He has to give us an extra second or two just to talk about the play that just happened, at least.
Unbelievable. Stackhouse again. Jerry Stackhouse from downtown. He's 9 for 12 from the field, and that's their 8th three-pointer.
And when Avery Johnson says take advantage of the small defenders, that's what he means. It's not about scoring over the small defenders. Make help come. That time Shawn Marion comes to help Steve Nash, and the wide-open jump shot on the weak side.
Bell took his eye off it. Only the 6th turnover for Phoenix. And that's another thing about these two teams. With so many possessions, only 6 turnovers each. They're just so efficient.
Take care of the basketball. Both teams high percentage on both ends of the floor. And really, they put the basketball in the hands of their playmakers, and those are guys that can be trusted.
Marion on Nowitzki. Finding Terry, and Jason Terry knocks it down. Nice pass from Dirk Nowitzki for his 4th assist.
In this situation, you can use Dirk Nowitzki as a point guard. You put him in a position to make plays time and time again. The help comes, does an excellent job, much better than in his past, at reading the defense.
Nash gets hammered from behind. And a nice pass from Stoudemire. You see the big men even making some pretty passes.
We talk about it. I can't say it enough. It's contagious. When you are making plays, how could you, as Steve Nash, hit Amar'e Stoudemire all season long when he's open, and then when you're open, just by nature, you're forced to try to get this guy a shot because he's treating me so well.
You don't have to yell at me. Nash will go to the line, one of the best free throw shooters in the history of the game. Hearing the MVP chants. Again, he's not interested in that stuff as he knocks down the free throw. Our NBA calendar, NBA TV Tuesday. Pistons and Pacers coverage begins 7 Eastern. TNT Thursday, terrific doubleheader. The Heat and the Cavs, followed by the Suns and the Spurs in a huge game. Then ABC next Sunday, also terrific doubleheader. As the Cavs and the Pistons, followed by the Suns and the Lakers. Those two, of course, played in the playoffs last year. Cavs and the Pistons went to 7 games. The Suns and the Lakers went to 7 games. Got Stackhouse. There's Marion. This is a high percentage shot.
There's a lot of point guards in this league that would have got that loose ball and had other guys pointing, saying he's open down the floor. Steve Nash knew immediately, got rid of the basketball, and once again, an easy shot.
Suns up by 4. Seesaw battle. Going with the hot hand. Stockhouse back. Nowitzki for 3. Won't go. Rebound. Job tips it out, but right to Nash. Nash looking, finding Stoudemire. Nice steal. Jason Terry saw it coming. 3-on-2 break for the Mavericks. Oh, what a steal from Barbosa. He read it perfectly.
How about the read from Barbosa? 3-on-2 fast break, able to get a hand in the passing lane and come up with the steal.
Bell at the 3. Raja Bell from downtown. And the Suns go up by 7.
I don't know how you feel, Mike, but this is the way that the game was meant to be played. I think Dr. Naismith was thinking about these two teams when he invented this game.
And a whistle. It doesn't get any more entertaining than these two teams, and they've had 2 of the 3 meetings so far come right down to the wire. And let's take another look.
Jason Terry attacking the paint area. Stoudemire attempting for the shot block, and then a loose ball again, but staying alive, and Stoudemire hurts his arm as he attempts to block the shot.
The foul is on Bell. He's hurting a little bit. As Nowitzki will go to the free throw line. Dirk Nowitzki 4 for 4. And you look at these two teams, Mark, and they've had great regular seasons. But for both teams, anything shy of a title, and they'll tell you this, anything shy of a title is a very disappointing season.
Well, you're disappointed, no question about it. When you begin to reflect, though, down the road, you appreciate what you were able to accomplish as a basketball team. Certainly is all or nothing. And what is this guy wearing? He says, I want 2 championships.
It's a lovely hat. Here on April Fool's Day. It looked like on that last play that Jason Terry's knee hit him on the bicep. That's why he was shaken up. Well, he's still in the game. Barbosa. That's good. Leandro Barbosa from downtown, and an 8-point lead, equaling the largest game for the Phoenix Suns as Dallas calls timeout. Another standing ovation. Exactly 4 minutes remaining in the third. Suns up by 8. Amar'e Stoudemire having another terrific game, but he hurt himself just moments ago. Watch Jason Terry's right knee. Flipping Stoudemire in the arm. He stayed in the game, and they'll need him. He has been superb against Dallas, both in their last game, March 14th, when he had the 41, 8 of 9 today.
Talked to Coach Mike D'Antoni. He said, hey, we are an excellent team. We need him to be a great force in the middle, and certainly he is doing just that.
Stoudemire, right from high school to the NBA back in 2002. Only 24 years old. Amazing as Howard knocks down the shot. Boy, Howard playing a terrific game. 22.7 boards.
Once again, the play made by Nowitzki off the block. He is making exceptional decisions on the block for his team.
Oh, there he goes again. Nash and Marion. A perfect combination.
Man, what can you do? Defensively, what can you do? Because you concentrate on Steve Nash, not allowing him to break down your defense. And before you know it, he is making a play for someone else.
And tried to make the defensive play down the other end, but Nowitzki got fouled.
You're respecting his ability to score and make plays, and all of a sudden the backdoor play, old-fashioned basketball, meet you at the rim, Marion with the finish.
All right, how hard is it to throw those alley-oops right on target?
I thought you were going to ask me how hard was it to catch it and finish. It's not hard at all. Really, Steve, it's a gift. That's the easy part. You want to have a guy that's able to catch and finish, but that's just a read, and it's a gift, and Steve Nash certainly has it.
Nash with 9 assists. Meanwhile, 2 more free throws for Dallas. The Mavericks are 15 for 15 from the line. They've already had 3 games this season where they were perfect from the line, including 1 game where they were 24 for 24. Again, they're the best free throw shooting team in the league. Stoudemire. 9 of 10 from the field.
Stoudemire was out. You can tell he's worked on his outside game. When he knocks down that jump shot, he's a handful right now. And Dirk Nowitzki, no choice but to give it to him, and he knocks it down.
Stackhouse looking to post up Barbosa. Nowitzki. Shot clock winding down. Howard the jump shot. And Nowitzki tracks down the offensive board.
And right now, Dirk Nowitzki wants the basketball. Instead, they go to the weak side with Stackhouse being defended by Barbosa.
Stackhouse can't hit that time. Here comes Nash. Nash to the basket. Back out. Raja Bell for three. And a loose ball foul is going to go against Dallas. Jerry Stackhouse pushed off. And the Mavericks with their 4th team foul.
Mike, you look at that play that just was made. Steve Nash immediately walks over to Raja Bell and said, "My fault you missed the shot. I threw the basketball away from the sweet spot. So I got you out of rhythm." How many point guards make that type of play and then own up and say, "My bad"? Instead of hitting them in rhythm, hits them off balance, and the push by Stackhouse on Marion as he attacks the offensive board.
Well, in talking to Mike D'Antoni, he says one of the things that's so impressive about Nash is after a loss, he'll come back in the locker room and he'll, instead of D'Antoni thinking about what to say, Nash will say, "You know what, guys, my fault. I blew that game. I take responsibility." Because he does that all the time as Barbosa goes inside. Nice move. Obviously, he doesn't have to do it very often. They don't lose a lot. But that's part of his leadership.
And it's really something that allows other guys to be motivated, because he knows that he didn't make Raja Bell miss that shot, but he's playing a mind game, and that's something as a point guard, an extension of a coach on the floor, that you have to do.
Oh, Howard explodes to the basket. And Josh Howard with 24 to lead all scorers.
Josh Howard doing an excellent job of mixing it up from the perimeter and attacking the basket, but doing a great job of reading the defense.
Raja Bell. Barbosa struggling, double team, stripped. And a foul's going to go against Devin George. You can't believe the call. And they're in the penalty now. So free throws for Barbosa. And Howard a little shaken up. So quickly make sure no blood. He's gone to the bench, though, as Buckner's come in. Another good game for Barbosa. He did start, though. Let's take a look at that play again. Ooh, yep, they caught him. That one hurts. Let's go over to Michelle.
Hey guys, Leandro Barbosa grew up in Brazil, and his brother Arturo, 21 years his senior, taught him the game of basketball in a country where soccer really was king. Barbosa told me he fell in love with the game. His brother was able to teach Leandro things that his brother couldn't do physically, and now he says he still hears from his brother every single day. They talk about on the telephone. Brother from Brazil, Barbosa here, and he says he still gets mad at me for mistakes I make, and I have to listen to him. He's my older brother.
Well, he better. His brother was a sergeant paratrooper in the Brazilian army, 21 years older. As Terry knocks down the shot. And you're right, Michelle. Whenever he talks about why he's here in the NBA, that's the first thing he brings up, and his brother helped him so much learning. Barbosa, a more gifted athlete, knocks down the shot right on cue. Barbosa now with 19. Final minute, third quarter. This 10-point lead equals the largest of the game. Terry for three. That's good. Harry from downtown. Again, he was red hot throughout the month of March. He's 7 of 10 here today.
A good read, pick and roll basketball. They switch. Jason Terry, a scoring point guard, takes advantage of the switch.
Terry pushing it up the floor. Inside Buckner, back out Harris, two-pointer Harris. Nowitzki was mad. I think he wanted the ball. Shot clock is turned off. And up on their feet again, the Suns fans. Barbosa to Stoudemire, falling away. Won't go, and that will end the third quarter. Steve Nash with 9 assists. Dirk Nowitzki with 15 points. Most important numbers right now, 89-82. The Suns with the 7-point lead. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. And we made fun of those so-called hats or eye gear before. Eyes on the prize, that's the theme for the Phoenix Suns this year. It's on the cover of their media guide. And again, nothing shy of a championship would make this the season for them. They want to win the title, feel this is the year they can. And right now they've got a 7-point lead here as we start the fourth.
And what's so important when you are one of the best teams in basketball, you have an opportunity to be carrying that trophy at the end of the year. You have to take.
DL had to throw it up with the shot clock winding down. Excellent defense from Dallas. And again, Dallas has become a terrific defensive team. Why is Phoenix shooting 58% from the field?
Well, they're so good offensively. They're a complete basketball team, and they really take what you give them offensively, do a great job of making the extra pass, and they put pressure on you. If you're the Dallas Mavericks, you have to look and say, hey, things haven't gone well, but we are in a position to get some stops and really get back into this ballgame.
Nowitzki puts it in. Nowitzki the other night, Friday night against the Knicks in Dallas, he struggled through the first 3 quarters. Then he had 17 in the fourth quarter. He's had a number of those games where he takes over in the fourth.
And if I'm Avery Johnson, I'm not concerned about Dirk Nowitzki. I'm concerned about defensively because Dirk is able to get a high percentage shot, a good look at any point.
Nice defense there. Nowitzki, not that time. Buckner poked that one away. DL has Jason Terry on him and wants the mismatch. Quick move. James Jones wide open. That's a 2. His foot was on the line. Nash getting his usual rest, and Howard still resting from that shot that he took.
But again, Mike, forced the issue. Diaw on the block. Help has to come and does the extra pass, getting a guy a good look.
Diaw guarding Nowitzki. Tough shot. Puts it in.
Yeah, that's a tough shot for you or I. For Dirk Nowitzki, that's a good shot. Defense at bay is just him in the rim. It's nothing but the bottom of the net.
See, I always felt every shot I took was a good shot.
That's why you're here calling the game with me.
Diaw on the drive. That's a nice move from Boris Diaw.
And you like the mindset of Boris Diaw all afternoon long. He is putting the ball on the floor and making plays, whether it be for somebody else or a good look of his own.
Diaw 5 assists to go along with those 11 points. Devin Harris, an open jumper. Only his second field goal.
Good read from Jason Terry. The help is rotating to Dirk Nowitzki. He makes the skip pass to Harris, stepping into a jumper.
Again, Diaw, and an offensive foul call on Amari Stoudemire. 3 on Stoudemire.
And you look at the Dallas Mavericks, their mindset, they know it's a mismatch with Devin Harris, with Amari Stoudemire, just battle underneath, fights for position. Stoudemire runs through him, gets the offensive foul, ready to help and rotate, but doing a great job of competing right now, the Mavericks are on the defensive end.
He briefly talked with Bob Delaney, but didn't argue. Stoudemire has to be careful. He has 14 technicals this year. That's second in the NBA behind Rasheed Wallace. And on the 16th, you get a 1-game suspension, and with San Antonio on their heels, they cannot afford to lose him, certainly.
And there's nothing to talk about. If you have Devin Harris guarding you, there's no sense in fighting. Get to a spot, demand the basketball, and then exploit the mismatch.
Harris back out. Devin George. 3-pointer won't go, and Marion comes flying in for his 7th rebound. 5-point game. Just over 3 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Nowitzki again on Nash on the switch. Nice entry pass, and Buckner hacks Diaw. Just a terrific lefty pass.
Good entry pass, good read by Buckner, understanding he was on his back, didn't want to give up the easy deuce, fouls immediately.
Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs right now trailing by 5. Nowitzki's had a lot of big fourth quarter heroics this year.
am Jonathan Silverman.
It's over 3 minutes gone by. Fourth quarter in Phoenix. And the Suns a 5-point advantage over the Mavericks. Time for our Comcast storyline.
Steve Nash, this decision-making process, always aware of where Amar'e Stoudemire is on the floor. It's the setup behind Stoudemire slashing to the hoop. Next trip, once again, recognition. Pick and roll goes away from the screen. Stoudemire slashes to the hoop, forces the help, creates an open look. Bell knocks down another dagger three, but Steve Nash continuing to read the play.
Stoudemire right now sitting down after just picking up a foul with 8:43 left. Nash looking for Diaw. And a foul call on Jason Terry. Only the second team foul. Again, we talked, the importance of this game means more to Phoenix because they're trying to hold off San Antonio. Because after this game, they'll go on a 4-game road trip, including playing the Spurs Thursday night in San Antonio. And it finishes in the game we'll have next week against the Los Angeles Lakers. So a big road trip coming up for Phoenix. Lakers, by the way, Mark, how about Jordan Farmar? He's going to play in a D-League game this afternoon and then play for the Lakers tonight.
A little double loop. Nice day for two.
Diaw throws it down. A lot of guys like to play 2 games in a day.
I like what the Phoenix Suns are doing right now, Mike. Finding the mismatch, getting the ball to Boris Diaw with a smaller Maverick defender and running their offense through him.
Terry, shot clock winding down. Nowitzki, back out. Terry, long three. Short, and Buckner, the rebound. He got held by Nash. And that's the first team foul against Phoenix, second on Nash.
Smart play by Steve Nash. Didn't want to give up the second shot opportunity and an easy lay-in for Buckner, so he grabs him and commits the foul, the proper play.
Avery Johnson, you saw him. He was almost out by half court. He's just shouting out instructions. And a foul's going to go against Diaw. Howard and Diaw got entangled. I don't think the crowd particularly agreed with that call.
A very intense game, playoff, getting after it on the defensive end, battling, not allowing a guy to get to a position, trying to deny, do the right thing, and then tries to sell a foul. No question about it. Foul on Diaw, and he is well aware of it.
Yeah, he was riding it, but he's still trying to tell Ed Malloy it was a bad call. Terry makes his move. Nowitzki, quick shot. Got knocked down, and Nowitzki is down. And it comes up hobbling. May have landed on his foot. Shot good from Barbosa. He falls down. Now Nowitzki turned his left ankle in the Milwaukee game last week and had to leave the game. And it looked like he came down then. He looked at Bob Delaney, thought there should have been a foul. And that's the sight certainly the Mavericks do not want to see.
Dirk gets a good look, shooting. Shawn Marion, that's not a foul. That's just a guy trying to contest the shot. And once again, Dirk lands on Shawn Marion's foot.
Although some will say if the defensive player comes underneath like that, it should be a foul. Nowitzki certainly feels that way.